The profound teachings of the Buddha, correcting mistakes from within to live a life of peace and freedom. A bustling road is not as important as a broad mind. If the mind broadens by 1 inch, the road extends 1,000 miles. A large house cannot compare to a generous heart. Good fortune cannot compare to a benevolent mind. Between one person and another, there is only a very slight difference. But this subtle difference determines whether a person will fail or succeed, suffer or find happiness. That difference is the capacity of one's heart and one's attitude in life. Human beings can be divided into 2 categories. One is like a water well at a crossroad, available for everyone to use. The other is like a water well deep in the forest, rarely accessible to anyone. How fortunate it is if you can be made use of by others, because that proves you have value. People come to seek your help. Therefore, do not fear being taken advantage of. Only fear that your own heart is too narrow, making others not dare to rely on you. Our mind is like a road. The more we scheme and calculate, the more congested it becomes. A wide road is not as great as a broad mind. Broaden your mind by 1 inch, and the road extends 1,000 miles. A large house cannot compare to a generous heart. Good fortune cannot compare to a benevolent mind. Being good is like the moon, and being evil is like the moon as well. Why is that so? Because the person doing good is like the moon growing fuller from the 1st to the 15th day of the lunar month, becoming brighter each day. The person doing evil is like the moon waning from the 15th day to the 30th, fading away into the darkness. Anyone who has a human body already has certain blessings, like a shining moon corresponding to their own store of merit. If we do not know how to foster and build upon these blessings, but instead create more negative karma, we will be like the moon from the 15th day to the 30th, gradually dimming into the dark. Isn't that sad? On the other hand, if we know to cherish and nurture the shining moon within us, making our blessings grow ever brighter, we will be like the moon from the 1st to the 15th day, increasingly radiant. Isn't that wonderful? In this life, honesty and kindness are always of the utmost importance for each of us. Kindness is the bright moon of the human heart. The gentle moon of compassion can light up the spiritual sky, touching and transforming the hearts of all who walk under its glow. A kind thought is like a seed, a kind heart is like a sprout, and a benevolent act is like sweet fruit. Every person is born carrying the seed of goodness. If that seed is well cared for and watered daily, it can grow into a large, vibrant tree. However, some people lose this seed, becoming cold and indifferent over time, while others allow it to be corrupted, gradually becoming cruel and heartless. No one is exempt from kindness, nor is anyone incapable of being moved by the goodness in others. Even hearts as hard as steel or as cold as ice can one day be warmed and softened by a touch of kindness. The highest realm of kindness is to act without concern for the outcome or for any reward. The more selfless we become, the more lightness and peace blossom in our hearts. The more selfish we are, the more we burden ourselves with anxieties and sorrows. All signs of auspiciousness or calamity arise first from within us and then manifest outwardly through our actions and words. Those who are truly kind, open-hearted, and generous toward others often receive blessings. Those who are overly strict, narrow-minded, and harsh toward others often face impending misfortune. Ordinary people, with their limited and clouded vision, cannot see this reality, so they assume fate is unpredictable and beyond comprehension. A heart that is utterly sincere aligns with the way of heaven. When good fortune is about to arrive, we can foresee it by observing the person's good deeds. When calamity is imminent, we can also foresee it by observing the person's bad deeds. If you wish to gain blessings and avoid misfortune, do not just speak about doing good first. You must correct your own mistakes. Consider the ancient sages. They were also human beings like us, yet they became revered teachers for all time. Meanwhile, we struggle through life, unremarkable and useless, like broken tiles or rubble. Why is that? It is simply because we cling to worldly passions and commit actions that go against moral principles, all while believing no one else sees our wrongdoing, thus remaining smug and feeling no shame. When we pass on, we sink into lower realms without even realizing it. There is nothing more shameful in this life than that. A sense of shame is a crucial human virtue. To preserve this quality of mind is to be among the noble and wise. To lose it is to be ordinary or worse. Cultivating a sense of shame is the essential foundation for correcting mistakes. The next important quality is fear of doing wrong, recognizing that heaven and earth see all and that the spirits cannot be deceived. When we do something wrong, even in a hidden place, unseen by others, heaven, earth, and the unseen realms still witness it clearly. If the wrongdoing is serious, 100 misfortunes and thousands of calamities may befall us. If it is minor, it will at least consume the blessings we currently have. How can we not be afraid? This applies not just in hidden places, but also among crowds. Even if we conceal our wrongdoing thoroughly or offer clever justifications, whatever is harbored in our hearts will eventually be exposed. In the end, we cannot deceive ourselves. When others discover or fully grasp the bad things we have done, our reputation is instantly worth nothing. Can we not be afraid? Moreover, as long as we are still breathing, even if we have committed grave sins, we can still repent. There is an old story of a man who did evil all his life but finally awakened at the brink of death. With a single sincere thought of repentance, he attained a good result. Thus, a single, strong, virtuous thought can counter 100 years of wrongdoing. It is like a cave in darkness for 1,000 years. As soon as a lamp is lit, the darkness disappears instantly. Therefore, for our mistakes, whether committed long ago or just recently, recognizing and reforming is most important. Life is impermanent. Our human body is extremely fragile. With just one pause in our breath, there may be no time left to repent or change. We will then leave behind a reputation forever tarnished, and even the most dutiful descendants cannot fix that for us. Meanwhile, in the underworld, we may be condemned to countless eons in hell, bearing the consequences of our deeds. How could we not be afraid? The third crucial quality is developing bold determination to correct our faults. Most people fail to change because they keep slipping back into old habits. We need to rise up with firm resolve, leaving no space for hesitation or delays. For trivial faults, we must see them like a thorn in our flesh that must be removed at once. For serious transgressions, we must see them as venomous snake bites on our fingers, which we must cut off immediately without a second thought. This is the benefit of a strong, swift resolve, like a flash of lightning, like a gale-force wind. Once we establish these three qualities, shame, fear, and bold determination to reform every time we commit a mistake, we can promptly correct it. It'll be like spring ice meeting the sun, melting away effortlessly. Yet mistakes and wrongdoings can be addressed at three levels: by dealing with external manifestations, by reflecting on moral principles, or by transforming the mind itself. Each method requires a different depth of practice and yields different results. For instance, if in the past we killed living beings, now we uphold the precept against killing. If we used to be quick to anger, now we firmly restrain ourselves from anger. This approach deals with the outward expression of wrongdoing. It relies on willpower to hold back what is already surfacing, so it is quite challenging. The root cause of those faults remains. We may cut one part away, only to have another appear. This is not a complete solution. A more skillful approach focuses on reasoning before wrongdoing manifests outwardly. For example, regarding killing, we deeply consider how heaven and earth value life. All beings fear death and cling to life. If I kill animals just to feed myself, how can I feel peaceful within? Moreover, the animal facing slaughter is stabbed, sliced, thrown into boiling water or hot oil, suffering excruciating pain to the bone. We then use its flesh to sustain ourselves. No matter how refined the dishes might be, they disappear once they pass our lips. Meanwhile, simple vegetable soup is sufficient to fill our stomachs. Why must we kill other creatures, thus harming our own blessings? Furthermore, all living beings that have blood, flesh, and vital energy also have awareness and intelligence. Having awareness, they share with us the same fundamental nature. If I cannot practice perfectly to become a supremely virtuous being, revered by all creatures, how can I then bear to kill them, causing endless resentment and hatred toward me? Reflecting deeply, we realize that if we witness food made from killing, we will feel such pain in our hearts that we cannot swallow it. Likewise, if we used to be quick to anger, we should reason that if someone behaves worse than we do, it calls for our compassion rather than our anger. If someone violates moral principles or disrespects us, that is their wrongdoing and has nothing to do with us. Why be upset over it? We also reflect that in all the world there are no truly outstanding people who are always self-satisfied, nor is there any doctrine instructing us to hate others. Any shortcoming in our achievement stems from our own insufficient virtue and inability to inspire others. We must use these situations as mirrors to reflect upon ourselves. Thus, if someone comes to insult or humiliate us, we can see it as a form of polishing our rough stone into a precious gem. We welcome it instead of getting angry. Moreover, if someone criticizes us and we do not get angry, no matter how much slander they throw, it is like lighting a fire in an empty sky, it will extinguish on its own. But if we react with anger to insults, no matter how skillfully we justify ourselves, it is like a silkworm spinning its cocoon in spring, only to trap itself ever more tightly. Anger is not only pointless, but also harmful. For every kind of wrongdoing, we can reflect similarly. Once our reasoning becomes clear, all wrongdoing naturally ceases. What does it mean to correct mistakes from within the mind? It means reflecting that all human faults arise from the mind. If the mind itself remains calm, on what basis can transgressions arise? Those who use this method of mental cultivation when faced with unwholesome tendencies, lust, greed for fame or wealth, easy anger, etc., do not chase them down one by one to eliminate them. They simply maintain a sincere focus on virtue. When upright thoughts prevail, unwholesome thoughts cannot arise to defile the mind. It is like the sun shining high in the sky, causing demons and monsters to vanish. This is the most profound method of correcting faults. All wrongdoing originates in the mind and must be corrected in the mind. It is like cutting down a toxic tree. One must strike at the root rather than pruning branches or picking off leaves. In general, using the mind-focused approach is superior and more effective than any other. While training our minds to remain pure, as soon as a negative thought arises, we become aware of it. Knowing it, the thought vanishes on its own. If one cannot yet practice the highest method of mental discipline, one should then use moral reasoning to address faults. If that is still not feasible, one can at least begin by curbing negative behaviors outwardly. Combining the highest approach, mental discipline, with the others is never wrong, but relying solely on the less effective methods without knowing the more advanced one is unwise. Therefore, having vowed to correct our wrongs, we should, in a clear and bright space, seek good friends who will remind us. And in hidden and secluded places, we pray that guardian spirits bear witness. We earnestly repent of our past offenses day and night without slackening. After a week or two, or a month or two, or 3 months, we will definitely see signs of progress, such as feeling calm, relaxed, and expansive in spirit, or noticing sudden clarity of mind. Or in times of turmoil, seeing our feelings and thoughts flow freely without obstruction. Or in the face of adversity or hostility, being able to remain at peace. transforming anger into joy. All these indicate that we have overcome our faults. However, we should not cling to such accomplishments and become prideful, as that will block further growth. Looking back on our old behaviors, we might not even see any faults. This is because our judgment is still clouded. That said, when our mistakes are deeply rooted, they do manifest in certain ways. For example, one might feel mentally blocked, forgetting what was said a moment ago, or constantly feel irritated without reason, or feel embarrassed in the presence of upright people, or find no joy in listening to righteous discussions, or frequently fall into misunderstandings and grievances, or have wild, nightmarish dreams that go against reason. In more severe cases, one might become incoherent or mentally unstable. All these are signs of wrongdoing. If we see any of these signs, we must immediately rouse a powerful resolve to eradicate old errors and start anew. Hopefully, anyone who reads or hears these words will understand them properly, without deceiving themselves. The mind is like a river, and the river like the mind, sometimes turbulent, sometimes still. Joy and sorrow flow by, then drift away. One person stands watching the river flow all year round. Clouds are like the mind, and the mind is like clouds. They come and go amid the days. The drifting clouds may wander here and there, yet the boundless blue sky does not change. The mind is like the earth, and the earth like the mind. Whether we discard trash or sow flowers, it remains silent. Listen to the earth breathing each thought. Adversity or harmony, nothing can truly obstruct it. When our mind is one with nature, it embraces the entire world. Going into the mountains, releasing poems to the wind, we share a piece of our heart with all beings. Once there was an old man who was always smiling and singing all day. Finding it strange, someone asked him, "Why are you always so cheerful?" The old man replied, "Heaven created all creatures. Buffaloes, dogs, goats, horses. Humans are the noblest among them. Being human is the first joy. Heaven gave birth to people who might be handicapped, blind, or lame. I am fortunate to be physically intact. That is my second joy. Many people in the world labor tirelessly for wealth and fame. I have enough to eat 3 meals a day and worry about nothing. That is my third joy. Birth, old age, sickness, death are unavoidable for anyone. I will die just like others. So why worry about death? Thinking of my 3 joys, I sing happily all day. What's so surprising? Suddenly I realized that the self is illusory, stirring about in this dusty body. The world lies within a fleeting dream in which I am muddled, binding myself in the ephemeral. Let me rest quietly in each breath. Calm my true mind to find my real self, to regain what was lost, to know that I am not me. Have you ever wondered, why do heaven and earth endure for so long? Because heaven and earth do not exist for themselves. Why does sunlight and air persist so long? Because the sun and air give themselves wholly to all beings. Devotion is the source of everlasting existence. Our own lives bear the imprint of the universe's generosity. Hence, to repay the world, we must learn to devote ourselves and dare to give to others, to life. Now, let us all practice the following 8 virtues daily to live healthily and happily, prolonging our lifespan with ease. 1. Patience. Patience cultivates blessings. Everyone encounters undesirable situations. In those moments, we must practice patience. Throughout history, those who achieve great things have great composure. Composure implies great patience. Patience is not avoidance, it is a kind of energy reserve. Those who know patience avoid mistakes born of impulse. 2. Kindness. Kindness begets virtue. Intelligence may be a gift of nature, but kindness is a choice. Kindness is the highest virtue in humanity. While kindness may not grant you everything you desire, it ensures inner peace. 3. Joy. Joy nourishes one's appearance. Happiness and cheerfulness are secrets to longevity and youthfulness. People do not stop playing because they grow old. They grow old because they stop playing. A smile is the best cosmetic for one's appearance and the quickest way to connect with others. 4. Compassion. Compassion nurtures the heart. Why do some middle-aged faces look kindly and benevolent while others appear harsh and bitter? Because our features reflect our inner mind. As our mind changes, so does our outward appearance. A beautiful mind gives rise to a beautiful countenance. 5. Love. Love nourishes one's conduct. Those whose hearts are filled with love display it in every action. Those consumed by calculation and comparison find themselves frequently frustrated. 6. Sincerity. Sincerity fosters trust. Honesty is the most important principle in any relationship. Everyone wants others to be sincere with them, so start by being sincere to others, and they will reciprocate. A genuinely sincere person carries themselves with dignity, their eyes shining with purity. 7. Diligence. Diligence brings wealth. A person who is hardworking and industrious is helped by heaven and compensated for life's hardships. Why do some earn money but spend it all quickly, while others keep their finances stable? Because diligence fosters gain and frugality preserves it. 8. Tolerance. Tolerance fosters harmony. A tolerant person surely has a vast heart. They do not fuss over trivial gains or rejoice too much in small advantages. The ancients said, "Retreat one step to find oceans and skies boundless." Sometimes stepping back is actually a step forward. One small concession can earn us many friends. Whether a person lives happily depends primarily on their mindset, not their physical condition or the daily balance of losses and gains. Our mood is not determined by others but by ourselves. Each person's mind is like a field. Sow good seeds and you'll reap good fruit. Sow bad seeds and you'll reap bitterness. If you can live joyfully every day, letting your life unfold naturally like the grass in the fields or blossoming like the flowers, the whole of nature will celebrate with you. Indeed, happiness beautifies a person, while hatred, blame, and sorrow only make one more unattractive. Our outward appearance reflects our inner mind. A smile is the shining mirror of the heart, illuminating every seed we plant there. If your heart contains seeds of joy, the fruit will inevitably be a smile. If your heart contains seeds of sorrow, the fruit will be sorrow. If it holds seeds of blame, the fruit will be resentment. If it holds seeds of love, the fruit will be tolerance. If it holds seeds of wrongdoing, the fruit will be moral decay. There is a saying, "We cannot change the weather, but we can change our mood." You needn't be annoyed when it's always raining because rain spares you from the scorching sun. Nor should you worry about burning sunshine because that bright sunshine ensures you won't step into muddy puddles. Friends, open the door of your heart, letting the vast sky and earth fill it. Welcome the sweet dawn, soothing every cell of your body and mind. Whoever you meet, that person was meant to appear in your life. Nothing is truly random. They come to bring you a lesson, an experience, a lasting imprint. When we reach the bridge, we will cross it. When one's path reaches its end, another way will open. Likewise, wherever we go is where we need to be. So, experience what must be experienced. Meet whoever is to be met. Pine and cypress trees in remote valleys do not need anyone's attention, yet remain green all year. The plum tree in harsh frost and snow does not need companionship, yet blooms at the arrival of spring. Each of us must traverse periods without support, without help or solace from others. Only by going through such times can we develop resilience and self-sufficiency. In life, there is no inherent injustice. There is only the mind that feels discontent. Stop blaming and resenting. Be serene toward all events, regarding them as passing clouds. Eventually, you will see that human life is like a passing breeze. It rises, then disappears. It comes, then goes, born from dust, returning finally to dust. Ideals sometimes resemble a lamp that flares up and then goes out. Emotions are like a rain shower that falls and then dries. Friends are like clouds that gather and then disperse. Sadness is like a flask of wine that leads to intoxication and then sobriety. Loneliness is like a star that flickers and then vanishes. Isolation is like the moon that rises and sets. 100-year lifespan is a dream. After a lifetime of struggles, one eventually sleeps eternally. Within each of us, there is both mud and lotus, both a demon and an angel. Do not reject the demon, and do not deny the angel. We have both light and darkness within. Do not push away darkness while pursuing only light, for darkness frames the brilliance of light, and mud provides nutrients for the lotus. In other words, do not ever disown your weaknesses or past mistakes. True progress and self-improvement do not come from denying and evading the past. Everything that comes to us has its own meaning, serving as a gift for our growth and completion. Receive all of it with gratitude and respect. Then use your power of transformation to crush all the garbage and turn it into fertilizer, to nourish the tree of your life until it bears fragrant flowers and sweet fruits. Finally, you yourself can taste the sweetness of happiness, your heart filled with joy. For what you give away is what endures. What you cling to might be lost. Remember this: everyone yearns for a life of smooth sailing without grief. Everyone wants to cherish affection, never parting or leaving. Some things, when viewed more clearly, become lighter, and some people, once understood thoroughly, no longer weigh on the heart. When you fall into the depths of life or face difficult situations, do not despair or lose hope. Think of the person with hidden strength, yourself. There is no perfectly smooth road. Somewhere a bend will appear. You must cross it and keep going. That slight detour is not defeat, but a chance to strengthen your resolve. No matter how many silent tears you shed in the night, the city resumes its bustle when dawn breaks. So be confident. Every difficulty will pass. Tomorrow is always a new day. Nothing is insurmountable. We all have our joys and sorrows to work through, our happiness and pain to face. Birth is a given, living is our choice. Once we understand this truth, we can adapt in our own way. The greatest emptiness in life is having no spiritual anchor or sense of direction. Whether or not you realize it or accept it, if your heart only holds good thoughts, nothing can cause you distress. A truly kind heart harbors no resentment. A genuinely simple way of living remains unaffected by the world's chaos. A good person sleeps well at night, body at ease and mind at peace. Someone who does good deeds earns the admiration of heaven, earth, and the spirits. Without suspicion, the world is not cold. Without dividing, the world does not become distant. Without resentment, the sky is always warm. Without conflict, the four seas remain calm. True tranquility is not sitting motionless for hours, but rather maintaining a serene state of mind that can observe everything, even the subtle blooming of flowers. Lasting peace grows from within, never found by seeking outside. We struggle all our lives, working tirelessly. When we die, we cannot carry even a blade of grass with us. We scrimp and accumulate possessions over a lifetime, but in the end, we cannot take the smallest bit of pride or vanity beyond the grave. Whether rich or poor, once the time has come, we must say farewell. So while we still have the chance, let us live wholeheartedly, treasuring those who matter most. Do not chase superficial worldly standards. If something can't be forgotten, don't force it. If it's already gone, let it be. Often, losing something we once had can feel more regrettable than never having had it at all. Do not rely too heavily on anyone, for reliance fosters expectations, and expectations breed disappointment. Life offers very few true what-if scenarios. You are the author of your life. There's no need to write a script filled with tragedy. Do not stand far away waiting, full of fear. Step forward and you will find your direction. Not everything in life goes our way, but do not pressure yourself too much. If you have done your utmost, any outcome should be accepted cheerfully. We spend our lives busy and worried, but no matter how hard we work, there is always more to do. No matter how much we save, we never feel it is enough. No matter how diligently we strive, we still commit mistakes. The world is vast, while humans are small. Some things are not worth bearing so heavily in mind. Life is not so bad. Every experience is a lesson, and living itself is its own scenery. If the heart is at peace, happiness will always be near. Regardless, time will not stop. There is no point in fretting endlessly over forever. Keeping the heart calm is better. Some things appear only once in a lifetime. Once gone, they do not return. Cherish those who stay, and kindly see off those who wish to leave. Do not sacrifice grand possibilities for the sake of any single individual. When you are upset, do not lash out or seek sympathy from others. The world can be cold. Excessive weakness only invites more contempt. Even if you mean nothing to others, never abandon your own self-respect. Don't dwell on a single problem indefinitely, nor pin all your emotions on a single person. Remember, you have family, friends, and many responsibilities. Above all, life will always offer you new chances called tomorrow. On the road we travel, we find joys, happiness, and success, but also sadness, pain, and failure. Wherever we stumble, we can get up and try again. Yesterday's failure is the foundation for tomorrow's success. We cannot neglect learning or refuse to improve. The future promises much. It beckons us, though it also entices us. The best approach is to sow seeds now so that our hopes become reality. If we plant diligently today, tomorrow we will reap. We have already made efforts in the past and present, so the future will surely be better. There is no need to worry. This follows the natural law as day follows night. Every single day of life is precious. Do not regret yesterday's hesitation nor passively wait for tomorrow. Live each present moment fully with no shame about life's meaning. Those who truly know how to live, let things follow their natural course. What belongs to you will be yours. What does not will never be yours. If you desire something love, for example, allow it to flow according to natural conditions. You can try to pursue what you want, but sometimes you must learn to let go if it stretches you beyond your limits or becomes futile. Clinging only brings suffering and inevitable regret. Our hearts will feel lighter if we let things be. That is how to accept life more easily. Letting go often causes anxiety and unrest. Some people, despite wanting to release their grip, cannot make a firm decision. For instance, you cannot let go of a love if your heart still holds hope that it might change. There may be desires obstructing that choice. Indecisive people think too much in circles, slow both to hold on and to let go. Only when they experience a major upheaval or a brush with death might they truly change. When we can think of someone or something with a more open and detached view, letting go becomes easier. We suffer because we carry too many desires in our hearts, thinking about them all day, exhausting ourselves. Indeed, if we have official rank, it becomes hard to give up. If we have money, it's hard to let go. If we have love, it's difficult to abandon. If we have a career, it's tough to part with it. They captivate us, or perhaps the other party's behavior hasn't crossed our threshold of tolerance. In general, letting go is difficult because it hasn't hurt enough yet to make us drop it. There is a story of a distressed man asking a monk, "Venerable sir, why are there some things and some people in life that I simply cannot let go?" The monk answered, "There is nothing that cannot be let go." The man persisted, "Master, why is it that over and over I cannot let go of certain things and people?" So the monk asked him to hold a teacup. The monk then poured tea until it overflowed and scalded the man's hand. Feeling the heat, the man quickly put the cup down. The monk said, "In this world there is nothing we cannot set aside. Once it burns us, we will automatically let it go." Indeed, when we cannot let go of those who have gone away or the guilt of past mistakes, it is like carrying a heavy rock for thousands of miles. It is painful and exhausting. Letting go here does not mean just discarding material things or money. It also means releasing the sorrows and worries in our hearts. If we cannot set aside these doubts, eventually they will poison our minds, leaving no day of peace. Letting go is how we cleanse worldly attachments, returning to our pure, kind nature. Failure to let go is like a traveler carrying a giant rock on a long journey. How can you reach the destination of your life's journey if you keep clinging to illusions, entangled in worldly desires? These burdens obscure your vision of your own situation, keep you trapped in a vicious cycle, prevent you from seeing your wounds after each struggle, blind you to the serenity behind the clamor, and hide the path home after a weary human lifetime. You cannot see the joy beyond sorrow, nor the genuine affection among strangers in the vast sea of humanity. If you had only one day left to live, would you still rush about competing and quarreling with others? Would you remain apathetic, indifferent, calculating? Would you indulge in trivial pleasures, continuing to harbor deep hatreds or commit evil deeds? Would you utter words and do things that hurt others? Facing death, the gains and losses, wins and defeats, material ambitions and deep grievances all shrink to insignificance. They fade away, becoming light as air. Deprived of time for many choices, people naturally pick what truly matters. Loving thoughts, kindness, sincerity, compassion, righteous deeds, gentle words. They tread softly, not wanting to cause pain on the path they leave behind, and breathe quietly, listening more keenly to life. We know this in theory, yet we often fail to manage ourselves. Negative impulses and worldly ambition ensnare us. In such moments, let us remember, the way to love everything in this harsh world is to remember that all things will eventually vanish. Indeed, they will disappear. This thought motivates us to see the world with loving eyes, to live with gratitude, to do our utmost. Because we never know whether we will have another chance to say thank you, or I'm sorry, or to do the things we yearn to do. We came into this life with nothing, and when we leave, we will vanish like a wisp of smoke. In the end, human life is so simple. Wealth and fame soon pass with time. Love and hatred also return to dust. Today, we live in a world of abundant material desire power, status, money, physical pleasures, fine food, and clothing temptations that can turn us reckless, arrogant, obsessive, and self-serving. When reality does not match our dreams, when we cannot control our emotions of resentment and hatred, or when we devise schemes to harm others, a moment's awareness of life's impermanence will lighten the burden on our mind. In the present moment, let us live with forgiveness and tolerance, wholeheartedly treating each other with kindness. Around us, there are endless wonders. Let us return to live fully in today, so that if tomorrow we must depart, we can leave without regret. Walk each step with steadiness, be truly present for your loved ones with a joyful smile, to remember how blessed we are to still be here, right now. Whether tomorrow brings change or we ourselves must leave, this moment is still the most precious. Life is short, everyone dies. So what do we gain by quarreling with others or by indulging anger? Overcoming anger gains us nothing tangible, nor does yielding to it. It is better to keep our hearts calm. Fighting and anger solve nothing. They only create more hatred and trouble. We should control ourselves instead of letting negative emotions drag us down, so we can respond gently and skillfully to others. I remind myself of life's brevity. When I feel stressed or anxious, I ask, does fretting help? Life will pass, and death awaits everyone. Death equalizes us all. Therefore, while I am alive, I should live the best way possible, mindfully, moment by moment, day by day, doing my utmost for that day. Realizing this, I let go of worries and experience a lighter, happier life. Whether or not we worry, we will all grow old and die. So isn't it better to age without worries? Being free of worry is to live more joyfully. Overthinking shortens our lifespan, damages health, and hastens death. Understanding this allows us to cast aside worries and be happier. The more we think wisely, the more tolerant, patient, kind, and gentle we become, not just toward ourselves, but toward everyone else. We become less attached to possessions, less greedy, recognizing life's shortness. Seeing that no matter how much we accumulate, we cannot take a single penny with us at death, we become less calculating. We become freer and discover the joy of sharing, of giving love and care. We realize that life is not about accumulating wealth. We learn the joy of generosity, of spreading happiness to others. That is what makes life meaningful and beautiful. Compassion and love can flourish within us like a tree bursting with blossoms. We can become truly beautiful people, full of compassion, interacting with others wholeheartedly, without discrimination based on race, religion, or social status. Our lives will glow with a new light, and we can say with a smile that we are genuinely happy and at peace. Human life, however long, is not very long. However short, not extremely short. Living even one day is a blessing. Let us cherish every moment, for once time has passed, it never returns. Even in distress, do not forget to smile. Even amid complications, watch your tone of voice. Even in hardship, persist in perseverance. Even when weary, do not forget to love yourself. A simple life is the happiest life. Being content with little brings joy. Being broad-minded and forgiving keeps things uncomplicated. If we overthink every matter, we weigh down our hearts. It is wise, from time to time, to delete certain memories, erasing the people and events that have brought unpleasantness. Each day we can live is already a blessing. So let us value it. Our lives last only a few decades. Do not leave yourself with regrets. Do not dwell on trifling matters that disturb your peace of mind and body. Some things, when lightly released, will bring you relief. Some suffering is just to temper us. Life's ups and downs can teach us to remain gentle. Let the storms of life come. Keep smiling. Life is all about compassion and understanding. Keep joy in your heart, quietly merging it with life's flow. No matter whether you are rich or poor, high status or low, well-learned or less educated, as long as you greet each day with a smile, ignoring fatigue, you are living freely and at ease.